Welcome to Daily Saint Veneration, where we explore the lives of the saints and what they can teach us today. Today is April 29th, and we reflect on mystics, reformers, martyrs, and miracle workers, each revealing a different path to holiness. Let's begin with one of the most influential saints in Christian history, Saint Catherine of Siena. Saint Catherine of Siena was born March 25th, 1347 in Siena, Italy. She grew up during plague, political instability, and corruption in the church. From a young age, she experienced visions of Christ and dedicated her life to him. She became a Dominican tertiary and lived a life of intense prayer, fasting, and service, especially caring for the sick and dying. But Catherine didn't stay hidden. She dedicated letters to popes and rulers, boldly calling them to repentance and reform. Most famously, she helped persuade the Pope to return from Avignon to Rome. Her mystical life was profound. She is said to have received the stigmata, though invisibly, and wrote the Dialogue, a deeply theological work. She was later declared a doctor of the Church, despite having no formal education. She's associated with Europe and Italy, fire of divine love, and courage in truth and reform. She died on April 29, 1380 in Rome at age 33. Her body lies in Basilica of Santa Maria sopra Minerva in Rome. While her head is preserved in Siena, her relics are not fully incorrupt, but remain highly venerated and widely distributed. Aphrahat, the Persian sage. Born around 280 AD, Aphrahat lived outside the Roman world in Persia, where Christians often faced suspicion and persecution. He likely lived as an ascetic or monk and became a spiritual teacher. His writings, known as the Demonstrations, explain key Christian beliefs, faith, humility, fasting, and charity in a simple pastoral way. He strengthened believers during difficult times and represents one of the earliest voices of Syriac Christianity. He's often associated with early Eastern theology, simplicity and clarity in teaching, and faith under persecution. He died around 345 AD. The exact location of his relics is uncertain, and there is no strong tradition of incorruptibility. His legacy lives primarily through his writings rather than his physical relics. Saint Hugh of Cluny. Born May 13th, 1024 in France, Hugh became abbot of Cluny at just 25 and led it for over 60 years. At a time when monasteries were influenced by political and wealth, he restored discipline, prayer, and independence. Under his leadership, Cluny became the heart of a reform movement that spread across Europe. He also served as a diplomat, advising popes and mediating disputes. Saint Hugh is associated with monastic reform, stability and leadership, and the renewal of church discipline. He died on April 29th, 1109, and was buried at Cluny Abbey in France, though much of the abbey was later destroyed during the French Revolution. His relics were partially lost or dispersed, and there is no tradition of incorruptibility. Saint Robert of Molesme. Saint Robert of Molesme was born around 1028 in France. Robert sought a return to a stricter, simpler monastic life. Believing that the church had grown too comfortable, he emphasized poverty, manual labor, and strict adherence to the rule of Saint Benedict. He founded Cîteaux, beginning the Cistercian movement, which later spread rapidly and influenced countless monasteries. He is associated with simplicity and austerity, Cistercian reform, and authentic monastic life. He died on April 29th, 1111, and was buried at Molesme Abbey in France, where his relics were venerated. Like many medieval saints, His relics were likely distributed or lost during the French Revolution, and he is not known to be incorrupt. The 9 Martyrs of Cyzicus. The 9 Martyrs of Cyzicus died around the 3rd century. These 9 Christians were arrested during Roman persecutions in the city of Cyzicus. They endured torture and execution rather than deny Christ. Their unity in suffering is a key part of their witness. Their names are preserved in tradition and they are honored together, especially in the Orthodox Church. They are associated with courage under persecution, unity in faith, intercession for healing. They were martyred around the 3rd century. Their relics were preserved and venerated in Cyzicus, and later accounts describe healings associated with them. Saint Memnon the Wonderworker. Saint Memnon, whose date of birth is unknown, is remembered for his miracles, especially healing. Though little is known about his life, he is honored as a wonder-worker, someone through whom God worked powerful signs. His legacy emphasizes humility and deep prayer. He's associated with healing, miracles, and quiet holiness. His date of death is unknown, but he lived in the early Christian centuries. Details about his relics are unclear, though he is venerated in the Orthodox tradition. Today we remember Saint Catherine of Siena, the Virgin and Doctor of the Church, who shows us that courage and holiness can transform even the highest powers when rooted in love for Christ. Saint Aphrahat, the Persian sage, who reminds us that truth spoken simply and faithfully can sustain believers even in times of persecution. Saint Hugh of Cluny, the Abbot of Cluny, who teaches that lasting reform is built through discipline, prayer, and steady leadership over time. Saint Robert of Molesme, founder of the Cistercian order, who calls us back to simplicity, reminding us that true devotion is found in returning to what matters most. The 9 Martyrs of Cyzicus, holy martyrs who witness that faith is strongest when it stands firm in unity, even in the face of suffering and death, and Saint Memnon, the Wonderworker, who shows that the quiet life of prayer can become a channel for God's power in the Word. May their prayers be with us, and may we learn to walk the path they followed.